I'm Tash.
And I'm Larni.
And we're My Two Wives. Okay, so today's, this little segment, this one is going to be better in than out. And I'll let Larni explain that one.
So better in than out is something that hits true to my heart, which is basically flatulence, farting, women, men, at the beginning of relationships. I wanted to discuss this with wifey because we're a little bit on opposite ends and we've both experienced, and I think a lot of women have the experience of, do we fart in front of the partner, right?
The new partner?
The new partner, you're how many years in?
16 nearly. And
do we?
No, we don't.
And look, that is like, I'm saluting you right now, but I'm in a new relationship as well.
Yeah, you are.
And I am. And this time, I'm not just letting myself relax and fart in front of him.
So what do you normally do? What do you normally like?
What am I? So in the past, I had a relationship. Okay, let me start with one of the relationships I had.
Okay.
I would hold that one in with great pain.
Okay.
Like stomach cramps, all the jazz.
Yeah.
And I used to wait until he used to go to sleep before I would either do a fart or
take a shit.
Yeah. or do a poo. And I think it was about 2 years in or 3 years into the relationship that I kept that little facade up.
Yeah.
And then got pregnant, had baby, and then it all came out, obviously.
Yeah. And how did he go with that?
Well, it was on equal terms. Because don't you feel like, so with men, this is like guys, mind you as well, I think you're different and you see it different, is that they just fart freely. And because he would fart freely, when I actually finally did, he was sort of like, you farted. And I was like, I know, oh my God.
And I have a totally different experience to that. So I'm 16 years in with a man that has never, I only accidentally for the first time 2 weeks ago found him on the toilet taking a shit, and I've never seen that before in 16 years, ever.
And that's insane, right?
And I was like, oh my God, what am I looking at? This is wrong. I have to shut the door. And he was like, oh my God.
And that's the experience of the romanticizing.
I don't know if it's romance or if it's just a privacy thing.
I was trying to work that out because obviously my new relationship. Well, my new relationship, my man's like, baby, I want you to like
not fart.
Yeah, like keep the suspense, or I don't know,
keep the imagination. Well, actually,
that I'm a lady,
because he's like that too. My husband is like that. He likes to think of me not as that. He doesn't think girls do that.
But it's such a real thing.
I know that, but I don't feel comfortable doing it either. Like, I don't want to do it. It's not who I am.
I see it because I've had moments where I felt comfortable where I've just let it all go. Then I've had times where I was restrictive of my bowel movements. And that was like, just because I was like, no, I want this like total like appearance like I am this lady. But
you're not though. To the core of who you are just a loose, for everything's hanging out woman.
A loose cannon, 100%. But this time I'm trying to keep up with the facade of not farting.
Do you think it's sustainable if it's not who you are?
Like,
do you think you're going to get to 10 years down?
I just walk upstairs or I walk downstairs and I hold it in and then I'm like, yeah, boop. But again, then I know women that just don't fart. Like, do you know I've known you for how many years and I've heard you like maybe accidentally fluff?
Yeah.
And it's not even a fart, right? Like, I swear some women, and this is like women I know that you're going to be like, yeah, that's me. There's women out there that fart and then there's women that fluff.
Yeah.
And you're a fluffer, by the way. That's like...
Yeah, I know. I don't have a mean ass like you.
I know. And
you
then
have
I'm
a
like,
mean ass.
Or my daughter, dun, 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 and then my mum. So it's generational, by the way. Thanks, Mum. I've got a generational
I know,
thing.
but in terms of your relationship, is it sustainable when I know that you don't give a fuck to your core about doing it in front of them?
I don't. But because I love him, baby, I love you, I'm going to keep the lady-like appearance as much as I can.
Wow, he's one lucky man.
He is.
For you to actually hold that in.
Like holding it in. I'm literally holding it in for you. But yeah.
Because it's not who I am. I don't want to do that, and I don't care to.
I have accidentally, by the way, in front of him.
And how do you go?
Okay, so this story pretty much was,
Okay.
I was asleep.
Yeah.
And then I just like did my normal like roll over move, let what like a big one rip, and it was big too. It was one of the ones where it wakes people up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I opened my eyes and I was looking around. I was like, wait a minute, bro. This is the whitest room. The walls all white. This ain't my room because I have a cream room. And then I remember like rolling over and looking across because this was literally like 3 days in. No. Yeah, 3 or 4. Yep. 3 or 4 days into sleeping over.
No.
And I looked over and I was like, fuck out of town. And I rolled back. And I pretend like I was asleep, like. Anyway, I heard him laugh. It woke him up and I heard him laugh. And I just pretended like I was asleep and I was just like, please go back to sleep, fall asleep. And I was like shaking and nervous and like, oh my God.
Actually,
but he heard me.
And he's still with you?
Yeah, he's still with me.
Okay.
He's still with me. But I can see how some women like to also
Like
keep
ultimate
up the stuff.
shame and embarrassment.
Yeah. But some also women
disgust.
just fluff.
Look, I think if the man has a disgust reaction to that, then you're in a bit of trouble. Like a huge, like, oh my God.
So it's one of those things, right? Do you do it to appease them?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's you know how we make those sacrifices. Yeah. I will do this for you because I love you.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not necessarily changing who I am because I'll still fart or fluff now. I'll still fluff, but just in a different vicinity.
Okay. I remember when
I'll even walk downstairs. That's the vicinity.
Wow.
So commitment.
That is commitment for her. She wouldn't normally go anywhere to change it. Well, they're going proud of you. Well, that's great. And I love that you're making that level of effort. That's a lot for you.
Yeah.
So I remember when I first met Michael, I did the exact same thing in my sleep as well. And I remember I came to and I was like, oh my God.
I hope you didn't just hear me then.
I packed up my shit. I didn't even stay there. I got all my pillows and shit and went into another room. I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Like I was dead on the inside. Like I died. I was like, he's definitely not staying here. This is before we had any kids, anything. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe this happened.
And I'm sure it's like the only time in 16 years or couple, maybe a small handful.
Look, I still crack jokes sometimes if it's a real hectic, like if I've had like mild diarrhea or something, I'll go out and I'll be like, listen, don't use that for 5 to 10 business days because shit's fucked in there.
See, that's
and he
honesty,
looks at me
right?
like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
But then they also still have that like, oh, but that's my woman and she's beautiful and she couldn't possibly smell. Because you know what I always think about? I'm like, if I fart and I smell, like surely Kim Kardashian has a stank ass. Like surely.
I'm sure it reeks.
Or like these beautiful models that like are eating like garlic or da-da-da-da. I'm sure that they're rotten too. Or some are. Like not everyone smells like bloody daffodils and Mary Poppins roses.
But when they're down there eating your ass, like,
oh yeah,
fucking,
I know.
Like, what are you getting?
That's where it goes down to, right? Is that if she can do that and then I'm going in for the kill, I think that might be one thing that stays on their mind. So the question is, do you let it rip or do you not?
Yeah. And does it offend you and disgust you? Because disgust is a really powerful and strong emotion, actually. Disgust is actually one of the biggest predictors of divorce.
Is it?
Yeah, the disgust emotion is the biggest actual predictor of divorce.
Does it come under like respect? Like I don't respect you because you...
No, disgust is different. I think respect is another thing again.
Yeah?
Yeah, so disgust is like a whole, like really... you know yourself when you've left someone.
Yeah,
so like
100%.
does that part of a relationship evoke
because it doesn't
disgust?
With me. With my man.
No, it doesn't with me
You
either.
can freely as a man.
Yeah.
And then I guess for like seeing women, I think it's acceptable.
Yeah.
But some men prefer just not. I think they'll accept it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like Michael's that. So like he'll accept that it happens and he has to know that it happens because
accident.
Yeah.
Because total accident.
Because I'm so not a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a different breed. I'm a different thing.
Yeah. 100%.
And he will accept it, but he just would prefer if I didn't.
If you didn't, yeah.
Or around him.
And, yeah. And then I also know other women that have never in their entire history done a fluff in front of their man, which is insane too, by the way. Like
to completely hide
like,
it is like, it's another level
right?
again. Like how? Never?
Yeah.
Ever.
Commitment. commitment.
That's a commitment.
And that's just like extra sprays.
Yeah.
But again, look, this is a sacrifice that some women make as well when they're in love.
I know.
Like, oh, I want you to
and
have
they're so
this
ladylike
beautiful
and
perception
proper.
of me.
Yeah. The perception of you.
Yeah.
To just have you think that I am just some sort of unicorn fairy.
Which I am, right?
With no anus.
I'm just a Tongan one.
Tribal.
Yeah.
Proper tribal. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Sorry, that's the discussion, ladies.
Yep. What are your
thought
thoughts?
about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know.
Let us know what your thoughts are.
Do you give a shit?
Is it
No
better
pun-
in
Yeah.
or better out?
Yeah. Let us know. All right.
Hot topic.
We'll be back with another one in this mini series of controversial topics that we all experience. So we'll be back soon. All right. Bye.
Peace.